I know the last one was short, so let's try to make this one a bit longer. Let's look at Halo Legends Homecoming.
In 2291, slip space technology makes space colonization a reality. In 30 years, mankind establishes the inner colonies in the heart of the Milky Way, and soon into the outer periphery.
We already sat through Origins. We don't need yet another history lesson. And this lesson keeps going on for the first minute. However, the reason for this history lesson is to tell us a bit more about the Spartan Project. So how does this episode officially open up? In the middle of a war zone, of course. Apparently the UNSC called for an order to pull out, and these Marines are getting attacked while doing so.
Matt, watch out!
Those poor souls. They were all 1 minute away from retirement. Curse you, Covenant, taking away what we love. So of course the soldiers stand their ground to the best of their abilities, with them getting picked off one by one. I haven't seen action like this since Star Wars The Clone Wars. With this intense battle, we get only the best of dialogue.
Damn it, it just ain't my day.
It's no haunting hour levels of dialogue, but at least we know that it isn't just this guy's day. That is, until a Spartan in red armor comes to save his ass.
Maybe this is my day.
Will it ever be this guy's day? The suspense is killing me. And man, this anime is making the Covenant look weaker than they are in the games. The assault rifle and shotgun are never this powerful in any of the games at the range she is using them at. With the remaining Marines and the Spartan working together, they are able to overcome the enemy, for the moment.
How's Gamma 4?
Gamma 4 is gone.
Holy crap, a female Spartan! Finally, the UNSC has reached true diversity. Though her reveal isn't as impressive as, say, Samus Aran's, it still is an interesting move to have a female Spartan in the battlefield, because Halo hasn't had a female Spartan officer in the series when this movie was released back in 2010. The UNSC has also lost Gamma 4, whoever the hell they were, and because of this loss, the battle is not in their favor, something. You'll just have to believe them. While the Spartan talks with the Marines about the current situation, we learn that her name is Daisy, and she knows the Marine she is talking to, Ralph. So, let's get a flashback scene in which Daisy, Ralph, and others are fleeing from the Spartan program after holding some of the scientists hostage. They question if they would be remembered by their family as well.
You really think you can go home?
It doesn't matter, I'm going. I have to. It's the only home that I have.
This is actually a sad scene, even if we know very little about these characters. I'm sure most people can't relate to these characters, but because we learn that they were experimented on and augmented against their will, we know that they are victims of something. Daisy somehow goes through Neo-Tokyo without getting spotted, and gets on a ship to planet Sargasso, wherever the hell that is. Back in the present, the Marines are holding their position while Daisy acts as a diversion. However, it cuts in between the present and the past to show more of Daisy's past and her return home. Once she returns home, she has a flashback. In a flashback about being taken by the Spartan program and turned from an innocent child to a child soldier by Dr. Halsey and her associates. Well, I guess nobody will be able to identify her if she were to die on the battlefield, since that's what dog tags are for. Back to the actual present, Daisy and her new squad find the extraction point and monitor it for when the extraction vehicle comes.
All the more reason for us to move out as soon as we see the extraction craft.
That sounds like a good idea to me. I'm gonna go find us a hog.
One question. How? You're in a war zone and you have no backup. You're just going to magically come across a warthog among all the debris and bodies and death? Instead of getting an answer, Daisy flashbacks to the past again because she looks at her bear charm, and we see what happens to her when she first returned home. But first, damn does her family have a great coastal property. The movie really wants us to take it all in. But back to the war. Daisy continues to make her way to the extraction point as the Pelican approaches. However, a stray plasma grenade from a dead elite gets in the way as we cut back again to Daisy finally making it home. And what she sees shocks her. She sees herself but in a wheelchair as Dr. Halsey is coming to pick her up.
Notice any resemblance?
The secrecy of the Spartan 2 program could not be jeopardized, but the disappearance of 75 recruits for the program would have created some difficult questions.
But if the children never vanished, there would be no questions to ask, would there?
Thank God no parent in the 26th century keeps a close enough eye on their child so that the government can get a moment to kidnap a child. And who trained these agents? Cleveland Jr.?
Of course, his actual son, the real Cleveland Jr., have to be eliminated.
I'm Tiger Woods! I'm Tiger Woods!
The clone lives a life in your place. The life that was originally meant for you. Come back to the facility 23. It is where you belong.
This scene is phenomenal. It reveals details about the Halo lore, fills us in more about Daisy's past, and just adds to the already sadness that is surrounding the story. And I love this short scene of where the angle is flipped upside down, as that is what is happening in Daisy's mind right now, most likely. Her entire world has turned upside down as she was forgotten by her own family, and all there is left is to return to the place she just escaped from. And in the wreckage, Daisy comes out to help her sergeant and the others get to safety, while Daisy in the past runs towards her clone. Yep, that's the face of a killer, one that is super bland and emotionally dead, unlike the Joker's creepy smile or Sionji's tearful expression. But yeah, it's revealed Daisy kills her clone while the jackal in the present surprises her. It's a better scene than Cat's death, at least.
Where does he get off calling a demolition a priority one?
Daisy, though wounded, attempts to save her allies by shooting the Covenant from an even farther distance than before, and still has some damn good accuracy. However, her skills can only do so much, especially when you run out of ammo, and she fails to help her team get to safety. We then learn the full truth of her past as her clone gives her back her bear.
I don't know, to be honest with you. Something tells me that I should.
Flawless reasoning. Daisy ends up returning back with Ralph beating himself up because he killed his clone, and we learn the others that escaped either committed suicide or murder-suicide upon learning about the existence of their clones. We are then shown the clone Daisy's grave as the real Daisy's corpse is on an unknown planet. And then we get probably the best and most heartwarming scene in all of Halo. That's right, the Master Chief was on this random-ass planet, came across her body, and closed her body's eyes and laid the charm in her hand. He honors what she did in the smallest of gestures, and continues the fight for her, until he's declared AWOL and hunted down by Locke, but I'm sure Daisy will understand.
Is this what you wanted? Is this what you were looking for? Was everything you've compromised, everything you've done, was it? Was it? revelation. Swipe. Mine is just beginning.
And that was Homecoming. How was it? It was fantastic. The story fits very well into the Halo universe. It's a sad story about the origins and fall of a Spartan soldier. Daisy didn't choose to join the UNSC and fight against the Covenant. She was kidnapped and turned into a soldier against her will. The only life left for her was to fight for the UNSC, aka her captors, pretty much. The scene with the Chief laying her to rest was also great, as it shows a different side of John 117, a side of compassion and honor. Though he probably could have recovered the body and actually given her a proper burial on her home planet, but whatever. After seeing this, Daisy has easily become one of my favorite characters in the Halo franchise. Though not fully a hero, she did try her best to save her fellow soldiers. This episode easily scores a 9 out of 10. One of the problems is probably the voice given to Daisy. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's not that bad either. Just small problems with it. I also wish the flashback didn't cut in randomly during the present time, as well as that flashback she had while we were already in a flashback. We don't need to pull an Inception thing here. Though there's one question I have. How did Daisy die? Did the explosion from the Pelican kill her, or did the Covenant kill her? This question will probably remain unanswered. Until then, I'm Wolf, and I'll see you all later.